All right, everybody. Well, first and foremost, thank you all for taking time out of your day to join us to talk about NASM and how we can really help you start the fitness industry from a career perspective. So welcome to the NASM Success Live webinars. We are going to do multiple webinars on this series as well. The first one is 5 steps in choosing a career path as a personal trainer.
Right. So some things to keep in mind as we are going through. You'll notice on the right side of your screen, there is a little webinar dashboard. So if you're asking questions or the like, you want to expand that, there's a little orange arrow on the top there that you'll go ahead and you can expand and contract that dashboard, and it'll help you figure out what you're looking at. The thing that's important there is we're not having a chat on this, but there are questions. So you can raise your hand or go to the questions field on your dashboard and write your questions in. We have a moderator who is off camera right now, but she will be looking at those questions and getting those to us. More popular questions we're going to go ahead and answer. If your question doesn't get answered, have no fear. We'll be doing a Q&A at the end. And if your question still doesn't get answered, then we'll be responding to you within 48 hours. So we are going to track all the questions and get back to you in that time. Other thing to look out for is you'll see an 888 number on the bottom of the screen. If you are so excited by this content and you really want to talk to someone right now, you can call that number. We have people that are program advisors that are standing by to help you out, and they'll be more than happy to do so.
Yeah, and speaking of helping you out, our goal today is to get a better understanding of who you are and how we can best serve and support you on getting into the fitness industry. So Richie is going to launch our first poll, get an understanding of exactly who you are with a couple questions on it. We'll give you guys, 15, 20 seconds to go through. At the end, we'll get the results and review them with you guys, and we'll go from there.
All right, so you should see the poll there on your screen. This one, you do get to check all that apply. So go at it, and we're going to review the results together. Now we've got some obvious winners here coming in.
All right. And remember, again, it can be more than one, so check all that apply.
All right, I'm going to give you guys about 10 more seconds. And I think that's about 10 seconds. We're going to go ahead and close the poll. Back in our results. So let's take a look.
All right, guys, thank you for filling out the poll for us.
Okay.
So we're gonna
go over here and take a look. That shows up really small for us. Hold on. Let me go.
Yeah, sorry guys, bear with us.
Okay.
All right.
So it looks like to learn about different jobs I can have as an NASM CPT. I want a career, but don't know where to start. Perfect. I think you're in the right place. And the last one is get info to help me decide the best training environment. Well,
yeah, perfect. So thank you for those, and don't worry, guys, you're exactly where you should be in this process. We're going to walk through all the different steps and protocols on the different jobs you can hold as an NASM certified trainer, how to get your foot in the door, where to start. We're going to cover all that today and set you up for success, so don't worry.
Okay, perfect. All right, so turn this poll off, and we should be back. Okay.
All right, well, first, thank you all for sharing us a little bit about you. So I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about us. My name is Greg French. I've been in the industry for 12 and a half years, been certified with NASM since 2007, I believe. I started as a personal trainer, worked into club management, multi-club management, and now my primary role here with NASM is a program advisor, which is to help prospective students and trainers like yourself on getting into the industry and setting you up for success.
My name is Rich Fahmy. I'm an NASM master instructor. I've been in the business for about 18 years now, which means I've earned enough white hair, I guess. In terms of my experience, it's pretty varied. I started in the business as a personal trainer and had different jobs in management, education, and executive level management. But some of you may have the misfortune of having me as your workshop instructor in the future. So let me know if that happens, then you can help me with something as we go through. So some of our major objectives for here, really, luckily they do match your first poll in terms of the questions that you have, so we're excited about that. We want to be able to give you basically things to consider, so things you want to look at, think about, work through to be able to decide what career path is best for you. We'll be giving you some examples, and we're also going to be going through what we consider 5 steps and a handy dandy little worksheet, but we'll guide you through step by step of ways to map out what your career path might look like once you become certified.
And then also definitely stay tuned until the very end. Obviously, we're going to try to make this as fun and interactive as possible. We are going to do a free giveaway at the very end. We're going to have a randomizer go through and select one participant to earn a 6-pack bag. It's a 6-pack travel bag, right?
It is.
Yeah, 6-pack travel bag, which is awesome. If you don't have one, you're really going to love it. Another thing too, Rich mentioned at the bottom of every screen is an 888 number. So at any point through the course of this webinar or after, if you feel ready to pull a trigger and you want to get certified, enroll in a program, give us a call. We do have a special promotion for you. I just mentioned webinar 1. We will have 30% off all of our coursework for you to really help get you started as well.
And then we're going to go ahead and roll into some polls. Greg, you want to talk about the first one?
Yeah, so the next poll here is it's just a simple yes/no answer. Do you have any fitness certification of any kind, certified trainer or not? So we'll send that out, give you guys 10-15 seconds, and we'll review the answers from there.
All right, here we go. All right,
getting some answers.
And cue music. All right, we're getting some. All right, kind of looks like what we expected. Okay, we'll give it 3 more seconds. Gonna close it. 3, 2, 1, and close.
All right.
So we've got, let's go ahead and share those results.
So it looks like majority of the answer is no, which is, again, completely fine. We're going to talk about the different ways of how to go about achieving that certification, and then also different specializations that NASM can really provide and support you with as well. So thank you for those feedback answers.
Okay, perfect. All right, so our next one here, let me go ahead and close that one. So our next poll is going to be, do you currently work in a fitness environment? So you may or may not be certified, but are you working in one? So you may be working at the front desk or working in even childcare. I know I've worked in environments where people came from all different departments to go ahead and become a personal trainer. So let me go ahead and start that here, just so we get a sense of.
Same thing, give you guys about 10-15 seconds, we'll review as well.
So we're going to do what we can to insert as many awkward pauses as possible as we run through. All right, so poll in progress. Give you about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're going to close that, and
perfect.
Just
so
like what we thought.
Yeah, it looks like majority is currently not working, and then some that are. That's awesome. If you already are, we're going to talk. If you are already in the industry, we're going to talk about how can you make that transition from where you are now into a full-time trainer or whatever other industry perspective you're looking at as well. And if you're not, no worries. We're going to walk through those steps as well. So don't worry, we got you covered.
Okay, perfect. All right.
All right. So we got one more on this page. So this one is a little bit more than a yes/no answer. So we want to know, what's your biggest hurdle or maybe obstacle in starting in the fitness industry, or maybe even obtaining a certification or a job as well. And again, this is to better give us information so we can better assist you on what's going to be the proper first step for you.
Okay, perfect. All right, here we go.
And we'll give you guys a couple more seconds on this one.
So we'll try and focus in our talk today to help you with that hurdle, or at least point you in the right direction. And
also, definitely, if we don't answer the question here, we will have a Q&A at the very end. We will make sure we answer all the questions as well.
All right, horse race. I like seeing the little bars fill up here with results as they come in.
And come down the home stretch.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Oh, someone's taking a lead. Interesting. All right, I like this one. All right, 3 seconds. And out. Okay, so let's share these results with everybody.
All right, so it looks like the leader winner here is getting hands-on experience in the job required by the job, followed by making enough money, and then I would say having enough knowledge to get your foot in the door.
Okay, so yeah, getting the hands-on experience. That's something I think that we hear quite a bit, is you have employers that go, well, we require a couple years of experience. So that, something we can offer some advice on that one as well. Is that something that you get as a program advisor?
Yeah, definitely it's a question I field each and every day. I don't have hands-on experience, or how can I get in the industry with getting hands-on experience? And lucky for you, we actually have a program that comes with hands-on training and development, along with coaching and mentoring, to really help you understand the practical application to set you up for success, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
Okay, go ahead, and I think those are still showing. So, all right, we're back. Perfect. Okay.
All right, so to give you guys a little bit of statistics, and this is something we've done from research of NASM certified trainers. I believe we did kind of over a year. On average, we find 68% of current NASM certified trainers decided to do this because they had a passion about helping others or fitness in general, and they wanted to make it into a full-time career or even part-time career, but they are loving it. So we have found 68% again. The other difference, the variables you see, I believe it's 32% or we found were just personal knowledge. How can I improve my own workouts to know that I'm doing it safely, or maybe to help friends and family? And the other one was a flexible career, because as a trainer, the career really is flexible in whatever you want to make it.
Right. You do have a lot of options in terms of controlling your schedule. That's something that I used to hear a lot as an employer. That was something that drew people into the industry. A couple other things you'll see here, the $61 per hour, that is the session rate. That is not geographic in nature, so those aren't localized to any area. This is nationwide, so it's a national average. Your rates will vary higher or lower, in some instances a lot higher, based on your location. But that's just something to think about. That's about what people are charging for personal training. The other thing too that you'll find is many of the trainers that we've surveyed work in multiple environments, or even multiple positions within the same environment. So not only are they doing one-on-one sessions, they're also doing, let's say, small group training, and they're also doing or teaching small group exercise classes as well. So income sources are coming from different places and spots, which is really, really common in the business. So that's something to think about as well, especially as you're building your one-on-one business, that you probably will have some other income sources in the fitness industry once you get certified.
Yeah, which we'll talk about a little bit later. How do you really cast the largest net as fast as possible so you can grow your client base and income to obviously match that as well?
Right.
So the first of those multiple options that Rich talked about was the large club or big box facility. This facility is usually going to house multiple disciplines, from offering personal training, group exercise. They'll have their spas, cardio equipment, weight equipment, but it's usually multi departments under one box, where you're walking in with several thousand members, and they have all the equipment, all the marketing, all the insurance liability that you're going to need. And you can just walk in and deliver experience to grow your client base.
Okay. Great. So the next one being a clinical setting. So I'm sorry, one second. Looks like we're stuck on the poll. I'm going to do this. I'm going to pause. And I'm going to start it again.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Bear with us here.
What do we have? We still have a poll? That's strange. It's our first technical challenge of the day. So I'm going to share, and then I'm going to hide it, and we'll see if we come back. Still stuck on the poll. All right.
All right, well, while he figures out the poll,
yeah,
go ahead and
keep
chime in.
Through that. I'll see if I can get this fixed.
The next option is a clinical setting. And now, clinical setting, this isn't necessarily a hospital. Maybe if, for example, I went to physical therapy myself. I know that they had trainers there assisting those post-rehabilitation clients through the next steps to their recovery. But then there's also working with chiropractors, physical therapists, and really helping them expand their client base from what you can bring to the table and offer from a rehabilitation perspective. The third one, and what we see a lot now, is a studio or boutique set environment. This is going to be an environment that's not necessarily going to house thousands of members under one roof, but it'll be a smaller setting with maybe a couple hundred members. Maybe you're paying the studio owner rent for X number of clients that you train, or you're bringing your external clients into one shared facility. Typically, we see a lot of this happen in a lot of the big cities as well. The other thing, let's say if you're an entrepreneur and you want to go independent, absolutely, you can go independent. You can do boot camps and outdoor events. You can go to in-home training. You can have people come to your house. You can go in and pay fees at studios. Again, totally up to you as well on what that independent means for you. The last one we're going to cover is corporate wellness. This one's pretty unique because you're working with a large company. It doesn't have to be a Fortune 500 company, but maybe that company has 1,000 employees, and your job running that facility is to help them create wellness plans and programs on how to get more active in the 9 to 5 environment, or maybe even creating weight loss challenges, or having someone come in to teach aerobics classes for like a lunch break, or doing a yoga during lunch, or maybe a post-work yoga morning, morning workout before your day starts. So all these are the kind of main 5 different options and avenues that we've seen to be most popular.
Right. So there's, most common ones that we see out there based on our surveys, like Greg was saying. So if we run into our poll, so now that you've kind of thought about what are the 5, or we've talked about the 5 most common things or environments you start with once you get certified, think about how many of these are actually within a 10-mile radius of you. So commuting distance, right? How many of these things are actually around? There might be more employment opportunities around than you might think. So we're going to launch this poll. Hopefully it doesn't get stuck again. We're going to launch this one.
Yeah, thanks for bearing with us.
We'll give you a couple minutes to go ahead, or maybe about a minute to go through that one. All right, horse race begins. So we've got a lot of people that are saying 5 or more.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
That's pretty cool. All right, I think we've got most people going. I'm going to give 10 seconds here as we go through. All right, I think the horse race has stopped. Here we go. So here are our results. Let me pull this one out so we can see that.
So it looks like the winner is 5 or more.
5 or more,
which is
not a lot of people.
Definitely awesome. And we would encourage you to stop in some of these facilities. Ask them, are you currently hiring? What qualifications do you look for? What type of offerings do you have for me to step in and grow my business within your current business or infrastructure?
Right. It never hurts to go ahead and speak. Even let's say you have a physical therapy clinic that's nearby and that area doesn't really excite you, or one it's not you're intending to go into, it still wouldn't hurt for you to talk to the physical therapist if you can, and just even get a sense of how do you deal with patients who transition from treatment to exercising on their own. Do you hire personal trainers here? Do you refer out? What would that take to even create a relationship? So any experience you can get, even if you're planning to apply there eventually or not, is always worthwhile.
100% agree.
Okay, so as you're going through, we're kind of getting a little bit into the meat and potatoes of this. When you're looking at questions to, let's be sure screen-wise we have the presentations up. Okay, perfect. Just make sure the poll wasn't invading things again. So as you're going through these things in the next couple slides, we're going to talk about the items you should consider. So these are all the questions you want to ask yourself before you're looking at, where should I start? So the first one being, what sales skills do I need to develop, or what do I already have? No matter your environment, there's probably going to be some type of sales you're going to do. So even if it's clinical, you still may need to sell your services to a patient who's leaving treatment. If you're going to be an independent trainer, for sure, you're going to have a lot of sales that you're going to be doing, because you're going to be prospecting, creating relationships with like a chamber of commerce, doing presentations, things like that. So these are important skills to have, to varying levels depending on your environment.
And also to add to that, if that question is, yes, maybe I do need help with that, have no fear. We actually have a program that'll walk you through the proper steps on doing that from a value-based perspective. The next question is, how comfortable are you with obtaining your own insurance and marketing? Obviously, if you guys remember a couple of slides back, we spoke about the 5 different scenarios, the big box, large facility, independent studio. Those all play a factor where I know I spent my career in a large box facility. They provided my insurance, the equipment, the marketing for me, but I'm just not really savvy in marketing, so I took advantage of that. But if you are, absolutely go for it. But these are all questions you're going to have to think of as well.
All right. So next thing to consider is, how much professional development do I think I'm going to need? If you're independent, for example, you are in charge of your professional development. So sales workshops, marketing workshops, conferences, training workshops, things like that, exercise science conferences, whatever it is, that's all on you. If you're working as an employee, chances are your employer has some type of professional development laid out. So that will vary from place to place, but that's definitely something you want to ask when you're interviewing. It's really an important question. I don't think trainers or new trainers ask enough. Sort of, what do you have? What systems do you have in place to develop me as a professional? Are there mentoring opportunities? Are there coaches available I can speak with? So that's something to consider when you're seeking out a place of employment.
Yeah, 100% agree. The next one here is, what topics get you excited? It's funny, Rich and I were talking about this earlier. When I first started in the industry, I was dead set. I was training professional athletes, and that's what I wanted to do. My first client, I'll never forget it. A sweet 80-year-old lady had 2 hip replacements, had shoulder surgery, and I fell in love with corrective exercise, and I ended up going a completely different direction. But, start thinking, what type of clients do I want to work with? What type of information do I want to learn? What piques my interest? Because obviously you want it to be a fun career as well.
Okay, perfect. And along those lines, what kind of client do I most want to help? So in terms of the topics that will help lead you into the next kind of client, and that's going to change. When I first started training, I got a lot of the sort of general conditioning client, or the client that wants to lose 20 pounds, sort of the basic gym goer, right? Kind of basic goals, nothing too complicated. But what I found is I tended to gravitate toward topics like corrective exercise and special populations. And so my clientele shifted to that. The thing that's important there is you do want to eventually have a niche that you serve, or a group of clients that you serve. It'll help focus the education you get for yourself, or education that you seek out, but it will in the long run bring you more business. So you definitely want to give a type of client or thought to the type of client. It'll focus your marketing, it'll focus your education, and it's a good thing to think about.
Yeah, and the last one is part-time or full-time, which this one here, it's not the right answer, but it's the best answer. It depends. The cool part about the fitness industry, it's 100% flexible, and you can make it really whatever you want it to be.
Perfect. Here's nice. All right.
So just to wrap up, here are the 6 main bullet points all on one page for you. I know we spoke about a handout that Rich is going to go over in a little bit, but these are the 6 main questions you want to ask yourself. Where, how do I get in the industry? Where do I want to work? What type of clients? What education? Just a quick wrap up for you as well.
Perfect. And then now that you have some things to consider, we're going to throw another poll your way. What do you feel is the most important when deciding to be a personal trainer? So we've got, basically these bullet points in the form of a poll, and we want to see what you guys think.
All right, so here comes that poll.
Launching. All right, there we go. All right, here we go.
All right.
I'm excited. I don't know why I get excited about these. It's kind of, I'm just like, I need to get out more, I think.
Professional growth in the lead.
That's a good one.
I said that.
I wasn't expecting that, honestly, but I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, I'm gonna close this in 5 more seconds. Actually, don't know what I was expecting. I like excitement being up there. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, and close. All right, let's take a look at these as a group. There we go. So it's going to be these results. I'm just going to expand this window so we can take a good look at it.
All right. So it looks like in the lead with 36% professional growth, followed by excitement and income needs.
That's great. Yeah. So that seems to make a lot of sense with, I think, what we hear from professionals when Greg's talking to new trainers and getting them excited about starting their journey to prepare for certification, or if I'm talking to you at workshop. I think being able to develop and grow as a professional and as a human being has a whole lot to do with why you choose this profession. So again, those are the things that you want to definitely, as you're choosing a place of employment, when you're going in for an interview, remember you're interviewing them just as much as they are you. So you want to be able to see how the place feels. Do they have the clientele there that you want to serve and will be most excited to serve? That will make you the most successful, ideally. All right, so I'm going to hide this, so we should go back.
I like it.
All right, good deal. All right. Okay, so as we go through here, what you'll notice, there are 4 career paths here that we have. These are actually real ones. We've spoken with some professionals that we do some work with, and we got a sense of, how did you get to where you got to, right? So what are sort of the major milestones that are there? The things that stick out for all of them is that obtaining their NASM CPT was step one. It's the one that sets your foundation and gets you going. The common theme as well is that there's lots of twists and turns, right? So there's going to be, it's not really a linear path. It's not going to be straight through. And sorry, I just got enough. We still have. You guys are still seeing poll results. I'm going to go back, rehide. Let's try that. We're back. We're back. Perfect. All right. So now you see the 4 career paths you have in front of you. So there's the studio owner, someone who actually does own their own facility, the corporate ladder CPT, so someone who started as a trainer and worked their way up into management or executive level management, the content writer or provider, so someone who's doing social media, authoring articles or textbook chapters and the like, and a specialized CPT, someone who is a career trainer. Maybe they've become a workshop instructor, master instructor for NASM, or they really have their niche down. So no matter what population that is, they've really identified that as well.
Yeah, and I think kind of if we look high level at this, the one thing where NASM kind of plugs in is no matter which avenue you go with, a studio owner, corporate ladder, content writer, specialized trainer, we're going to get you covered from all of your education, become certified, specializations. We have business development courses, professional development, so you can understand how can I be the best trainer of myself to go out and have the largest impact with the most amount of clients as possible. So with all of that, we're going to have you covered as well, which again, I would encourage you to get on the phone, talk to one of our program advisors, let them steer you in the right direction and help you kind of narrow down what's going to be best for you.
Okay, perfect. All right, so the next poll we have coming at you is, let me find out.
So yeah, the next one here is, so we talked about this, the kind of the 4 stories here of the studio owner, corporate ladder, content writer, specialized trainer. So we're going to give you a poll with really those 4, and we want to know what one piques your interest. What do you think would be the most efficient, effective route for you to take?
Okay. Sorry, our poll screen has gone away. 1 second here. That's technical difficulty number 2 we've got going on here. So we've got view. Sorry, 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and unshare the screen. My apologies, but this will give me be able to see the window we've got.
Yeah, sorry guys, just bear with us. Our apologies.
That's really strange. Okay, so we're going to have to run through without the poll because the whole window is gone. That's really weird. All right, let's keep the show moving. You see it? Yeah, I don't see it either. All right, let's keep on going. Sorry, we're going to have to skip this poll. So things to expand upon. We're going to go back to where we are. Okay, so in terms of moving forward, that's too bad. I was excited about learning about that one, where people wanted to go. So we can take bets about where we think people are going to end up. But the thing we're going to get to right now, this is sort of the real nuts and bolts of this whole webinar. We're going to give you 5 steps to consider and run through and work through when you're deciding on your career path. So the good news is, if you noticed on the right side there in your webinar dashboard, there is a handout available. So it's a PDF version of the next 5 slides we're going to run through. There's no need to have it open. We're going to run through it word by word. If you want to have it open, by all means, go ahead. But it's a great resource for you to take and print out. There's even an example timeline put in there. You'll be able to run through it and as we go through as well.
All right, so the first one is, we call it the beginning and the end. So this one here is determine what's going to be the right career path for you. Do you think it's going to be a big box facility? Do you think it's going to be independent, studio? Again, no right or wrong answer. But then the most important one out of these 3 here, determine, explain, and find, is I want you to really determine what is success for you. And let's say you become certified today. What's going to set you apart from every other trainer? Was it a specialization? Is it the type of clients you're going to go after, the type of experience you're going to deliver to your clients? So I really want you to start thinking, how are you going to fill those questions and voids? And then the last one is find. So I believe earlier in one of the surveys was, I think a lot of you had like 5 or more of these facilities near you. Go to one of them, go to the facility you work out, talk to a trainer, pull them aside and say, hey, I just enrolled, or I'm thinking about enrolling. Do you have any advice or any guidance on how I can best get into this industry? They're more than happy to help you out. And obviously we are here too.
Okay. Next one we have here is establishing a timeline. So if you notice the example on the sheet, if you happen to open it, it's based on 1 year, but really this is up to you. This can be 1 year, this can be 5 years. If you want to become a corporate level executive, obviously that's not going to happen in 1 year, usually. So, you can make it a 5-year timeline, you can make it a 2-month timeline. It's really up to you. It works no matter what. But the things that you want to establish are, how long do you think it will take you to hit whatever it is that you choose as a goal on your worksheet? And then think about, is it realistic? So if you have never taken any kind of kinesiology or any kind of science, never have cracked open an exercise textbook or exercise science textbook or a personal training textbook, and you want to be certified and employed within 2 weeks, probably not realistic. So think about that in terms of how does it fit within your life? So do you have the time to study so many days a week, or how much time do you have to devote to preparation, and then map that in.
Yeah, one thing I want to add to that, a good point, a lot of things that I deal with here with working with students are getting certified is we do find on average our students are completing their course and getting certified in about 10 to 12 weeks. So do keep that in mind when you're mapping out your time frame.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
All right, so the next one here is milestones. Obviously you want to have some type of reward, something to go after. So I want you to list out major steps so you can essentially check those boxes to get one step closer, one step closer. For example, maybe the first milestone, getting on the webinar today with us to learn more about your first steps. Second milestone, for example, could be calling in, speak to a program advisor. Let's find what's going to be the right study option for me, because obviously we want to set you up for success in the right amount of study content. Maybe your third milestone is walk into 3 different facilities, sit down with their manager, get an interview, get a phone interview, and see what type of career path that's going to lead for you. And then other than that, you want to, kind of tag and label those milestones with specific experiences. So I want to attend 3 interviews by this date. I want to schedule my exam for this time frame, or maybe I want to pursue additional education from, now I'm telling people like, hey, I'm getting certified, and now other people are asking for help. So now you want to label on, maybe I want to get certified in nutrition or corrective exercise or youth fitness. Again, all of those options, we have you covered.
Perfect. Okay, next thing here, we've got the step 4. So skill identification. So this has a whole lot to do now that you've thought about what environment do I want to start in, what kind of clients do I want to work with, what gets me excited from a training topic. Think about what skills you have to have along the way. And generally, when we talk about skills as a personal trainer, we're thinking about soft skills and hard skills. So hard skills are things like assessment, program design, exercise technique, the sciences. Those are things that you definitely need under your belt. So think about development of the hard skills, and then soft skills are mostly interpersonal skills, excuse me. So those are things like sales skills, or maybe delivering a presentation if you're going to be working on your own and you have meeting with a group to deliver a presentation on your services, things like that. Those are what you want to consider. Another common one that I think trainers tend to overlook are coaching skills. I think people sort of think, oh, no problem, I can coach people, I got this. But there really is, a method and a skill to coaching clients to help them achieve the results. So again, think about all those things that you believe will make you the most successful professional as you go through.
Yeah, 100% agree. So let's say you get through those first 4. The next one here, which is my favorite, take action. Let's do something. Let's put something in play and make it happen. Give us a call. You want to think of, okay, I set down my map. I'm going to talk to a program advisor. I'm going to schedule 3 interviews. I'm going to determine what's going to be the best route for me. I'm going to get certified, schedule my exam. Now let's make something happen. Give us a call. Like, we love being a part of that and watching you go from where you are today to giving us a call back in 1 year and saying, hey, like, I'm certified. I've got these many clients. I've gotten 3 other people certified from my experience. Like, that's the next step, is to really share your experience with others and how you can essentially cast a larger net, not only with clients, but just with more people that want to be a trainer, maybe in the same position you are today.
Yeah, and don't be too intimidated by it. Really, the next step can be really small. It can be, picking up the phone. It can be going to a facility and just taking a tour. Not even saying you want to work there someday or even mentioning anything about employment, but just going in and saying, can you show me around and get a sense for how the club feels, right? So it can be something that small. Just anything to get the ball rolling is going to help quite a bit. So we did have a poll prepared. It was about what do you foresee as your biggest obstacle, but we can actually talk about maybe some of the things that in your experience, Greg, that you hear, or some of the things that I hear as sort of the top one or two things that people consider an obstacle in getting started.
Yeah, so again, apologies about the poll. We were looking forward to seeing kind of where we can step in to help you kind of conquer these. But just to go over them, the biggest obstacles, we have 4 of them, 1 being the budget, 2 is the time, 3 is knowing where to start, and the 4th one is apprehension about creating a sustainable career as a trainer. And really out of all these, like it's pretty simple. Like a budget, yes, obviously we understand you're making an investment in yourself from an educational perspective and a professional development, but we have you covered. We are again running that special promotion for you all where you're going to get 30% off your enrollment options. But then it's pretty cool because we can actually divide the total costs over 12 months. It's simple. There's no fees or interest. We're not in it for that. We're simply in it to help you go from where you are today to becoming an NASM certified professional in the industry space. And we're going to do everything in our power to make sure we can assist you in all of those steps. Right. And as far as time, I think we mentioned that one earlier, like our students are getting certified in 10 to 12 weeks. That means week 14, 16, 20, you're in a facility, you're doing assessments, you're growing your clientele base, you're making money as a full-time personal trainer. So it really is doable, and it's 100% on your own time from a study perspective, which is really cool.
Right. And in terms of knowing where to start, hopefully this will help you with that in terms of what places should I go into, who should I talk to, who should I reach out to, and what are the little action steps you can take to get started. The other one that we hear most often is people are just generally apprehensive about starting a career in fitness. Oftentimes people are transitioning from other careers. Is that a real thing? Careers. I made it up. It's a thing. Look for it on Twitter. The people are leaving other careers. I can't tell you how many people I have in workshops that are saying, I've left a desk job to do this because I love this. I want to change people's lives. So that's always wonderful. But there is a lot of apprehension about that. And the main thing there is, I think, establishing the right timeline will help because it does sometimes take a little bit of time to transition as you ramp up your client base. You're almost leaving one job and transitioning into another, and there's probably a little bit of overlap there, but that's a common way to address that obstacle. But it is completely doable. Greg and I think have seen a lot of people do it, and it's a wonderful thing to transition into a career in this industry.
All right, so here is where we were going to go through the poll results. So again, apologies. So hopefully we were able to talk through some of those with you and help you, create a game plan to maybe overcome whatever those obstacles were that you were getting stuck on. And just know, if it's today, tomorrow, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 3 years down the road, we're still going to be here at NASM to really help you through everything you're going to come across.
Right. And that's our goal. Our goal is to help you become the most successful fitness professional that you can be. And I think we've got a lot of resources and people available to help you do that as well.
All right.
So wrap up. So we are going to have a feedback survey at the end of this. So something to consider there. We're going to ask for other topics as well. You see that there is the first question there, but other things you would like to see, whether it's some of the concepts out of the textbook that you'd really like explained. I know we get a lot of questions about the OPT model, for example, our program design model. Can we do something about that? So that's a common one, but if you would, when the email comes out with the survey, please take the time to answer it. We really appreciate it. I believe it's only about 8 questions. It's really quick, but that'll help us make these webinars better in the future, and we can really hone in and focus on topics that will be helpful for you. And again, a little quick reminder, that worksheet, basically the previous slides we just went through on the 5-step, that is available as a PDF in your webinar dashboard. So click on that before this is over and download it to your computer or print it out. And I think that's the main stuff.
Yeah, so the next thing too, again, the whole time we've been saying there's a number at the bottom. If you have questions or something doesn't make sense, or if you just want to talk to one of our program advisors or even myself, just give us a call. We'd love to help. We do have that special promo for you where it's 30% off all of your enrollment options. I just mentioned the code webinar1. We were going to do something funny and say like webinar code whip or something, but we decided to go webinar one to keep it simple.
We decided to be super generic, and instead of going like super awesome promo code 1, we did webinar 1. So
and then the other thing here is we have our winner of our 6-pack bag, and as you can see there, that's the actual picture of the 6-pack bag they're getting, right?
That's the one they're getting.
So our winner of the 6-pack bag, we'll just give it a little pause and let the suspension build in. So the winner is Kayla McKibben. So if you were still on this webinar, congratulations, Kayla. You just won the 6-pack bag. You're going to be receiving a call, I believe, here shortly, as soon as we get off the webinar, from a Thomas Martinez. He's one of our managers here. He's going to reach out to you and talk to you about the shipping and handling and getting all that out to you as well.
And it'll probably be, I'm guessing, unless they provided a phone number. So if you only provided an email, Kayla, you're going to get an email from Thomas, and he will set up shipping out that bag. But thank you for sticking it out, because you just won a 6-pack bag. How cool is that?
Awesome. And I believe next here we have a question Q&A for the last little bit here. And I believe our moderator's been taking on some questions, so we're going to collect those from her and see if we can answer all these in the remaining time.
Okay. All right.
All right. So the first question here is, what is the average time to go from purchase to being certified? A really good question. The average time is, what we've seen is 10 to 12 weeks from time of purchase to being certified. Obviously, there's a variable in there. So from day of enrollment, you have 180 days. So I believe that's a couple days shy of 6 months to take your final exam. But the real cool part we mentioned is it's 100% on your own. So if you want to crank it out in 2 to 3 weeks, obviously you're more than welcome to. We would advise against that. You know, obviously we want you to retain the information, but you can do it at your own pace, which is really cool.
Yeah. So in the end, to clarify, when you enroll and purchase the CPT package that works best for you, you do have 6 months or 180 days to take your exam. So you have as long as that time to prepare. But like Greg's saying, it's probably more in the 3 to 4 month range that you'll need to prepare for it, depending on your starting point.
Yeah, one other thing too is the students that have finished in 10 to 12 weeks, we found they're doing 4, maybe 5 hours a week of study time to get done in that 10 to 12 weeks as well. So keep that in mind. Next question here, do you have payment plans and how do they work? So good question. We do have payment plans. Obviously, we mentioned this is an investment. You don't have to pay for everything all in one shot. Obviously, you're more than welcome to. Payment plans are simple. They're no interest, no fees, no charges. We simply take the total cost, divide it out as far as 12 months for you. If you ever want to pay extra, pay it off beforehand, you're more than welcome to. Another question I get all the time is, if I take my exam in 3 months, but I'm paying over 12, are you going to hold my certification hostage? We're not pirates. We're not going to hold it hostage. We're going to allow you to take your certification right away, because our goal is to help get you into the industry so you can start your full-time career or part-time career right away. Good question, by the way. All right, next one here. Are the courses 100% online? So yes, the courses are 100% online, completely flexible. There's no set. You have to be logged in Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 to 11 a.m. It's whenever is best for your schedule. Now, the other thing too, if I believe one of the poll results was I wanted hands-on training experience.
Right.
So yes, you will study online. However, we do have an option where we can get you some hands-on training, some practical development and experience, so you can take the book knowledge and learn how to practically apply it and what that feels and looks like.
Right. There's lots of options there, and you know, depending on that, you also have. I used to be a coach for some of the online programs as well, so there's different levels of, if you do want the 100% online experience, there's different levels of help you can still get from us. You can either go completely solo, right, or you can have a coach and mentor. They're available to answer questions as you're studying through the material.
Or you can go to a live workshop and hang out with this guy.
Yeah, I'll take your life for 8 hours basically, and it's usually a Sunday, so good luck with that.
All right, next question here is, I studied kinesiology in school. Which program is best for me? Really good question. We get that one all the time. It's not the right answer, but it's the best answer. It depends. We do have self-study options where he mentioned you're 100% on your own. We set you up with your online course content, your final exam, study material. You're good to go. If you feel like, hey, like it's been 5 or 6 years since I studied, it might be a little rusty, no problem. We have access to give you our coaches or mentors who will work with you week by week and chapter by chapter to help guide you through everything to make sure you truly understand and are retaining the information, and then obviously that hands-on training component as well.
Okay, perfect. So I have my NASM CPT, but notice that group classes are popular. Yes, they are. Do I need to get the group training specialization? That's a good one. That one's up to you. If you don't have a lot of experience with group training, it actually is a really great course. I know I'm a little biased, but it really is. It does help you organize your workouts and manage groups and set up groups of various sizes. So it gives you strategies for if I have only a group of 4 or 6, what does that look like? What are ways I can set up? If I have groups of 10 to 12, what does that look like? And how do I set up? So it's, obviously it's optional. It's a specialization above and beyond your CPT. CPT, of course, is your first credential to have, which you do. Great job. But that depends on how much education you need. Remember, we've talked about, think about the milestones or educational requirements that you have, and it is, one in my mind, one of the few sort of structured courses out there that do really guide you through becoming a small group trainer.
Yeah, great question. All right. What do you recommend as far as getting insurance? Another good question. We hear that one a lot from especially studio owners or independent. We actually do partner with some companies to offer discount incentives for getting insurance on, I believe, all your liability and whatnot. So if you have questions on exactly what those steps are, give us a call, the 800 number or the 888 number. We're more than happy to steer you in the right direction on who to contact, and then they would take it from there at that point.
Right. Yeah, you would be dealing with the insurance broker directly at that point, but they do give discounts to NASM CPTs, so that's something to keep in mind there, and it's pretty reasonable as far as pricing goes.
Yeah, I believe it's super inexpensive. All right, let's see here. I'm in the process of getting my NASM CPT. How long did it take you to learn all the body part and muscle names? Do you use them all the time in the work atmosphere? Great question.
That's a good one.
Probably my favorite question. Oh man.
Well, I know in workshops, that's one I used to get quite a bit, because if any of you have your book and you look at Appendix D, so Appendix D is all the anatomy, and that one of the most common things I get is people are basically freaking out over the amount of anatomy they have to know. There's sort of 2 levels to this answer. One is, yes, you do need to know it. But do you have to communicate that to your clients? No. Do you have to use it on a daily basis? Not necessarily. Do you need it for your exam in that much detail? No. So your exam isn't going to be going after that much detail when it comes to muscle name, origin point, and insertion point. You do want to know the action of the muscle. When it comes to your exam, you do want to be sure that you understand the anatomy clearly when it comes to the assessments. So I don't know, depending on how many of you have looked at it, we do have an assessment process that leads to our program design process, so the overhead squat assessment, which you may be familiar with. So you look at that, and that tells you certain muscle groups, either over or underactive, and then you use that to design your program once you do that. So the anatomy is really important when it comes to that. In terms of using it in your work atmosphere, you generally will just call this the chest, right, not pectoralis major. Even when you're talking to other trainers, you're not going to be spouting out corrective terms, but you do want to have it under your belt as you go through. You don't need to have it completely under your belt before you start as a trainer, but it is important. But don't freak out. It's not the bulk of your exam. It's okay.
Yeah, and I use it a lot teaching other trainers the terms, helping them pass additional exams or really understanding everything. But I think to his point, you don't have to say, oh, your bicep femoris is really not firing to a client. They're going to look at you with a dead stare. As long as you know the functions of, if I do X, what is going to happen after that from how the muscle truly functions and works, I think you're in the clear. As far as the exam, obviously you need to know a little bit, but you don't have to remember every single one by name. Hopefully we answered that question. All right, next one here.
Oh, good one. Can you go over the training model NASM uses? Not